Man, defense, special teams, offense, 3 phases, baby. That's how you win.
3-0 in the division. Great way to start. Now we got to finish.
Great win. Oh, man, felt great, man. Good win. 6-3.
Oh yeah, the Raiders now 3-0 in the division, beating the Broncos 37-12 at home here inside Allegiant Stadium. Welcome into Raiders Game Day, presented by America First Credit Union. I'm Erin Coscarelli alongside my guys, Marcel, Reece in the house, Eric Allen in the house. Gents, it feels good to be 6-3. Quick takeaway from today's game.
Came back to Allegiant Stadium and walked away with another huge win. 6-3, you cannot beat it coming down the stretch, the home stretch of this season.
Oh, so excited for this football team, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Came up, made some tremendous plays today. Energy going, momentum on our side. Way to go, 6-3.
Right in the nick of time. We'll talk about next week's opponent, but here is what's on tap for today's show. We've got a lot to get to. It was a turnover party here in Las Vegas. We're going to talk about it. Of course, player and coach reaction will get you there. Instant post-game. Salute to Service Month, and of course the Raiders tributed the veterans. We will show you that. And a Sunday night preview. We're talking Chiefs, all of that and so much more on today's show. Stick around, but first, let's take a look at first half highlights as we take a look back at the Broncos' first visit to Allegiant Stadium. You know Derek Carr's fired up. He's got Damon Arnett back in action.
Yes.
No Corey Littleton, no Mo Hurst, no Colton Miller. First quarter we go 3rd and 5, and who does he find in 3rd and 5 situation?
What'd you say, EA? Third
Hunter.
and Renfro?
3rd and Renfro. Watch this route, though. Watch this route. Oh, man, it's going to come to the Renfro route. Gets that corner leaning to the outside, spins back in the inside, and just,
He runs that China route so special. Low center of gravity, gets that hips turn of the DB, then zips right back in, quarterback friendly. I love it.
Speaking of zipping, how about that? Shortly thereafter, give it to number 28. 2nd and 1, Josh Jacobs finding the end zone, good for 11 yards.
Never go wrong when the ball's in JJ's hand.
Love his running style. Just so patient and fluid, but explosive.
Special.
Explosive indeed. Raiders on the board first, 7.
Tips it over,
Nothing.
Gotta get those.
Oh, man, great job there. Safety play was very, very high today, guys.
Yeah, it was a good day to be a member of the Raiders defense. Eric Harris.
Just gotta love seeing all those guys around the ball whenever it was in the air. And look at Jonathan Abel right now. Tapping in
him up.
That leadership role right now. I love it.
Oh, man.
3rd and 14 we go. Drew Lock.
Oh, there's our guy, Heath, with an INT.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to take it back to the house.
Yes.
That's
Gotta
right.
do something with it now.
Pass intended for KJ Hamler, but not so fast. We're going to break down Jeff Heath's game a little later in the show because he made some huge plays.
Yeah, just a great veteran play from the safety.
Absolutely. 2nd quarter we go, 3rd and 1. Nicholas Morrow with the sack.
They said they wanted pressure, EA.
They got it.
Hello.
Nicholas Morrow around the ball again. Just great job. Love the way he plays. Man, this young guy is really stepping up, making the most of his opportunities.
So much. A loss of 7 yards on the play. Recovers on the Denver 2. But 1st and 10, 3 minutes to go. Josh Jacobs yet again, 24 yards.
Just so good in every scenario of the football game, especially when he has the ball in his hand. So patient. Just so fluid in everything he does, like you said earlier, EA. Just love the way he runs the ball.
Absolutely. We will be breaking down JJ too a little later in the show. But how about Jeff Heath yet again?
Now that is a humongous play. Only a veteran can make a play like that.
The turning point of the game right there. Going into half, Denver thinks they have at least 3 points. And guess what? We get a timely turnover by the veteran, Jeff Heath.
Absolutely. Timely indeed, saving that 10-6 halftime lead for the Raiders as you are taking a look at the first half stats. You gotta like the 2 turnovers there at the bottom of the page. Jens, I ask you, quick, analysis. First half concerns maybe you had coming out of the gate. I'll start with you, Marcel.
I wouldn't necessarily say concerns, but I was looking forward to how we adjusted. We didn't necessarily capitalize on all the breaks that we had in the game, the turnovers, the great defensive plays that we had. We didn't necessarily capitalize on them. But we came out on top in a good position. So I was looking forward to seeing how we adjusted in the first half, because we came out, that first drive was phenomenal.
Yes, it was.
Great. I mean, phenomenal scripting by John Gruden and the offense. The first drive was great, but didn't really do much after that. So I was looking forward to see how we came out.
Yeah, I wanted an explosive start. I wanted to really put this Denver Broncos team on notice, and we really didn't do that after the first drive. But defensively, man, came to save the day. Heath with 2 big turnovers. So you love that aspect about what we're doing in this game.
No matter how EA starts, he ends with.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, and it was funny, because you said last week it's going to be a high-scoring game for the Raiders, I started all my Raiders team in my fantasy league. So we will show you how the second half closes out. You're going to find out on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
This has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now, only at Allegiant.com. Presented by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, an official beer of Raider Nation made to chill. Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Welcome back to Raiders Game Day here inside our Twitch lounge inside Allegiant Stadium. Twitch, the official partner of the Raiders. Gentlemen, we are going to show you heading into the half, Raiders up by 4. First half, of course, capped by the Jeff Heath interception, his second of the day. Let's roll the tape and show you how the second half played out, shall we? Like I mentioned, Raiders up by 4. Third quarter we go, 3rd and 7, finding his tight end, Darren Waller, good for 24 yards in the middle of the field.
So good by both those guys. Derek hanging in there, pressure coming, puts it right over the linebacker's head. And you know Darren Waller, when he gets it, ball gets in his radius, he's catching it.
You better believe it. And how about when the ball gets close to JJ, he finds himself in the end zone, 1st and goal from 5. Jacob's second TD of the
So
day.
smart and savvy with the ball, how to press the hole and bounce it outside, use that speed, get to the pylon.
Say that, EA. Come on now.
Second and 6, the defense.
That's a big with an interception.
And watch this. That's how you finish.
Oh my goodness, not
That's
in
how
my
you
house.
finish a run right there.
Yes, sir.
I love what we're seeing from Carl Nassib. A sack last week.
Oh, but again, our guy, Morrow, around the ball, causing the pressure in the bad throw.
Yes.
That's right. Celebrate number 94. You deserve it. 1st and 10 we go. Drew Lock, the short pass to Hamilton, but Nevin Lawson strips the ball, recovers to set up a Raiders. Another red zone opportunity.
And again, that's all about tackling and understanding, hey, when I'm tackling, I got to secure it, strip it out of there, get that ball out of there. Who's around the football again? Number 50. Morrow, he's always around the ball.
Called it.
Yep, that would be their 4th takeaway in this game, and I told you they would capitalize, and that would be how it would look. Raiders with a very nice 1-2 punch, courtesy of Devontae Booker.
Really excited about this running back group. All 3 of these guys that contribute, they do so much for this team, and they just have a knack for getting into the end zone just like that. D-Book finding the paint again for 6.
And again, look up front, getting to the double teams, getting to the second level at the linebackers. They have done a phenomenal job all season long, banged up or not. This offensive line continues to prove they're one of the best in the league.
No matter who's in there, they just ball you, EA.
And you know, because 4 takeaways is not enough.
Who said he need 2 hands?
Oh,
just give me 1.
That's right.
Nick Kwiatkowski continuing his fine play. 2nd week in a row that he has really made some big-time plays. Remember last week where he stopped that 2-point conversion? Again, Nick is playing some great football right now.
Just showing his versatility, and you can tell right now he's starting to get healthy.
Yes.
Starting to make plays like that, those fluid, versatile plays. He's starting to get healthy.
And we're seeing this team step up throughout adversity, right? Corey Littleton not available. Nick Kwiatkowski is able to deliver amidst so many different issues. When the Raiders need someone to step up, they have that next man up mentality and they're able to deliver. Here is the final score for you, 37-12. What a crushing win. Derek Carr, not a big game from him, but a big game from his running backs, Josh Jacobs, and you know Coach likes when he sees that. Let's hear from Coach Gruden after the game.
I think Jeff Heath started it off. You know, Jeff Heath has made some big plays. He's not playing, 100%, but getting close to it. I think he got the fire started. We got just some good overall play by a lot of guys on defense. Paul Gunther and his staff have tweaked the defense the last few weeks, and we were opportunistic. You know, Ryan Nassib on his own blitz got an interception. I thought we did a great job stripping the ball. We need to create more turnovers, fumbles, and again, we ran the football extremely well, and that's the recipes that we're looking for here. You know, you don't have much time to celebrate. As you know, Vinny, we got to play the Chiefs. We had 87 punt return yards called back. We had a penalty on 4th and 6 inches. We left some plays out there that our guys are capable of making, and we got to continue to raise the standards here. But it is satisfying to win. I got a lot of respect for Coach Fangio and the Broncos. They're a difficult secondary to maneuver against, and Chubb doesn't make it easy back there. But 5 turnovers, that was a big significant statement, I think, that we made, that we're getting better, and that was good.
5 turnovers, you know Coach is going to like that. He called this an opportunistic game. We'll get into the specifics from the offense and the defense, but for you guys, what impressed you the most about this game, Marcel?
Well, Coach Gruden talked about it, but finding different ways to win. That's what's important. You see, Derek Carr didn't have a big statistical game, and I'll hit on that a little bit because there were some missed opportunities. We had 3 big drops, and those are mistakes that you can learn from, but DC has those, and all of a sudden it's a huge game for not only him as an individual, but also the offense. But this team is finding different ways to win. These last 3 weeks in a row, we've seen gritty, we've seen resilient, and now we see one of these ugly wins where the defense steps up and carries you through the defense, through the win.
I like that,
right? For sure. 3 weeks ago, guys, Paul Gunther was under the hot seat. You know, he felt the heat a little bit. The last 3 weeks, this football team defensively has really played extremely well, changing them different techniques, changing them different schemes. But the players are starting to understand how they can perform and be consistent at getting after the pass rusher, playing great ball in the middle of the football field with the linebackers are concerned, and then making plays in the secondary. Just an awesome day overall for the entire defense.
I don't know about you, EA, but when I saw this defense play today, it just seemed that they're even practicing a little bit different. You saw all the guys just going for strips, picking up the loose balls, trying to catch the ball now when it's in their area, talking about defensive players and DBs, but it almost seems like there's just a new level of energy and passion for this team right now.
You can tell what they're talking about in the meeting room. You can tell that the emphasis is on turnovers.
Yes.
So again, when you're in practice, you get an Oski, you know, you run to the sideline, maybe dunk it in the trash can. So there's like excitement in practice that's carrying over to the games.
And this is when you want this kind of excitement to happen, week 10, week 11, right here at the second half of the season. Well, speaking of defense, we're going to talk about why the Silver and Black had so much success on D when Raiders Game Day returns.
Presented by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders.
The rush and the back end, we work together. You know, we count on those guys to make the quarterback get rid of the ball half tick before he wants to, and they count on us to buy them some time. So, you know, that's a formula that's going to give you a lot of success when you can apply pressure on the quarterback and make them pay in the back end. So, you know, we just got to keep doing that.
Well, head coach John Gruden said Jeff Heath got the fire started today. 5 takeaways from this Raiders defense. Of course, 2 picks from Mr. Heath. You saw him there. Man, a few words. He lets his actions do the talking.
That's right, for sure.
Let's take a look at Jeff Heath's play today. And, EA, I want you to take a look and kind of dissect what you saw from him.
First of all, low-key, Jeff was a signee that many people thought would maybe be a good backup. But again, he's just played so crafty.
Look at that.
Tips and overthrows, that's what we talk about as a safety, coming down and anticipating the route combinations. Here, we think we're in a cover 2 man here, so the cornerback's going to be underneath, forcing the quarterback to throw the ball on top. So now, as a safety, you're thinking, man, if this ball's going to be high, it's going to be tipped, I got to be in the right spot at the right time. And again, he plays it right. Just great job there, jumping the route, anticipating, expecting those plays, and that's when you come down and get him. Everyone's excited because it's a crafty veteran. One time again, you see everybody's underneath coverage, forces him to throw the ball on top. You got to have good hands with your safety, right? You got to have some good hands. So again, another big-time play. 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, same thing happened against Kansas City. So we know he can catch the ball. We know he can play that middle field safety. Here, this is a veteran move because a younger safety would have probably made the tackle and the guy would have got up and celebrated. Here we see great job again by understanding route combinations. You're gonna have the first inside guy up top. Bam, that's gonna be your first guy up top. When he sticks that outside foot in the ground, you gotta break downhill and come and get the ball or knock him out.
You can tell right there on that replay there, Jeff Heath understood we are in the red zone. Where you are on the field is so important. Things happen faster. Quarterbacks have to anticipate where their receiver is gonna be. So he beat him to the spot and not only broke up the ball, but saved the team and took away 3 points at a minimum for the Denver Broncos and got us into the half with the lead.
Going into halftime, that was amazing. And again, you could play all kind of different coverages. You can play cover 4, cover 1, but when you tag it with red, that means that the safeties and DBs know that we're working with that red area, so everything has to be compact, everything has to be explosive coming down the football.
In the red zone, offensively and defensively, everything gets condensed and everything happens much, much faster.
Yes, it does.
4 interceptions, a fumble recovery, a sack. For you, how do you keep this momentum going forward? Because heading into the game, they had about, I think they averaged 0.7 takeaways per game. They had 5 today. What do you think, Marcel? How do you keep this momentum, this physicality next week and moving forward?
I think it's all about being able to practice the right way and continuing to just focus on the fundamentals. Listen, we have to tackle, we have to go for the ball, and we have to play team defense and offense. And we have to understand it's going to take all 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, to continue on the roll that we're on right now in winning games down the stretch of this season.
Guys, when we say balance, we usually talk about offense. Hey, balance, running game, pass game. But defense, there's a balance. The coverage and the rush, they have to balance out each other. They have to give opportunities to be successful. So sometimes the pressure up front is going to get there and make the quarterback make a bad read, make a bad throw, hurry his throw. And then other times on the back end, you're gonna have those cover sacks. So we see these things working together, and then you have a coach who's willing to say, hey, you know what? We're gonna run some exotic zone drops here. We're gonna rush our linebacker from the right side and drop our end into coverage from the front side. So again, those kind of things really help a defense, and personnel-wise, if I know what I'm dropping to and know why I'm dropping, it gives you a great advantage from being able to make those plays.
Switching up the looks, to your point, EA, is so special for this team because it's a young team, so they get excited about playing football again. You know what I mean? And you can see the different things that we're doing, the blitzes. Now it's just not Jonathan Abram blitzing, trying to get to the quarterback. Now he's taking the tackle, and you have guys like Arden Key and guys like Mad Max Crosby trying to make their way into the quarterback. So there's a lot of different things going on in the defense that are really special right now, switching up the looks, because it's not all about the sack numbers. Because if you make a quarterback uncomfortable and you make him move around a lot, that's almost just as good, because guess what? Just like the interception by Nassib, he was confused, didn't even see him. Now you have your big guy dropping in a zone blitz, and now he gets the interception. So it's special to see the different looks that Gunther's dialing up right now, and the guys buying in and executing them the right way.
Buying in and executing. The Raiders only allowed a single digit of offense to the Broncos in the third quarter. Of course, a byproduct of the Raiders' offense chewing up the clock. We're talking offense and that run game when we return. Don't go anywhere.
I know that the game starts with the run and it ends with the run. I mean, I think this is a testament to the O-line. I think the last 3 weeks in a row we've had 150 plus yards on the ground, and it's just good to see that we is basically putting our dominance on the game, and to see that Book out there balling. I mean, it just makes it fun. And offensive line, we got guys that's injured and they're coming in and they're balling. The backups are balling. So, I mean, it just feels good to know that we coming in and putting our dominance on the game.
Well, it is becoming clear the Raiders' identity is eat up the clock and feed Josh Jacobs. He might not have the flashiest runs, the longest runs, but his consistent ground and pound recipe is why the Raiders have a top 10 rushing attack. Marcel, I ask you, let's take a look at number 28's play today. What did you see from JJ?
It's exceptional as always. We found our identity last year, his rookie year, and his Rookie of the Year campaign when he was just the phenomenal runner that we drafted, imposed his will every chance he got. It's an testament to the offensive line. No matter who's in there, they just maul guys, get him holes, and he runs through people. He gives you any type of way you want it. The stiff arm, as you see right here, going to the sideline, never lets the defense off the hook with an easy run. He always finishes physically.
He's a positive runner.
Everything,
time.
Yeah,
he's a positive runner. I think he's does such a great job because he's low to the ground. He's able to really change gears without really giving a defender notice of what he's going to do as far as hitch concerned.
And you see it in the passing game as well. Those are routes that usually you have Jalen Richard spook running on third down. But Josh Jacobs says, hey, if he's not in the game, I can do it as well. And you see the numbers, 24 receiving yards, 112 rushing yards. 5.3 average. A lot of guys think you have to have the 60-yard, the 70-yard runs. Josh has yet to have that run this year. But most guys use that as their statement run. Josh makes his statements physically. Every single time he imposes his will on the defender in front of him, no matter how big or how small he is. When he gets those big runs, that's what separates him from the pack, and now he's going for a rushing title. But Josh, the running game, this offensive line, that is this Las Vegas Raiders identity.
It really
is. We have to stick to the run, and we talk about the sweet spot all the time, EC. If we hit that sweet spot with carries, because all three of these backs contribute. Jalen Richard, D-Book, and also, of course, JJ Josh Jacobs.
36 carries combined. Jalen Richard
until the
left
offensive
early.
line is completely healthy.
And isn't that the most impressive part, this revolving door up front, and yet we're top 10 in the league in rushing? I mean,
it's week 10, and we're getting better as far as running ball, confidence. It's going to be, I'm telling you guys, and you guys know, once this offensive line gets completely healthy and is able to have consistent practice together, I mean, it's going to be just dynamite, averaging 5 yards a carry right now. We talk about November and December. It's running football time. It's about to play great defense and run the football. Those are the things that the Raiders can do.
It's going to be a fun time for the entire Raider Nation, seeing this team go down the stretch and try and making this playoff push, because this O-line hasn't gotten together. And once we get guys back, and we haven't even spoken about the guy who is the gel of this offensive line in Coach Tom Cable, the absolute best in the business. And it's been on display all year, ever since week 1, shuffling guys in, getting guys prepared, having guys play positions that they've never played before, and still being successful, because the offensive line makes you efficient. 4+ runs. The running backs make you explosive. That's 8+ runs. And everyone is doing their job. Receivers are blocking on the edge. We haven't even mentioned that. Tight ends, a phenomenal group of tight ends blocking as well. And John Gruden sticking with the run, even when it's hard, even when it's only 4 yards. And you know, Johnny has that. He wants to score every single time.
Throw the ball down the field.
But he sticks with it, and everyone's doing a phenomenal job of sticking with the run and staying true to our identity, which is this offensive line, Josh Jacobs, and this run game.
And you gotta like what you saw from Devontae Booker, a revenge game, 2 touchdowns. I told you guys at home, add him on your fantasy team. All right, well, the Raiders took care of business at home against the Broncos. But what else happened in Week 10? We're bringing you an NFL Week 10 roundup when we return.
Look at that.
Presented by San Manuel Casino, official Southern California casino of Allegiant Stadium.
I'll show you what happens in the field goal. Murray out of the pocket. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. Murray heaves it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins. Miraculous. It's Murray magic.
A last-second Hail Mary to D-Hop from Kyler Murray, winning the game for the Cardinals. What an ending. As a defense, EA, I look to you. What happened in this play?
So disappointed. Knock it down.
Something.
Just knock it down.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right, D-Hop had all kind of
Look
words.
at that man. 3 guys.
3 of them.
Not 1, not 2, but 3. Even the Cardinals can't believe it. All right.
We do that now.
It is time for Scores Around the League, brought to you by Sports Water. Here's what happened in Week 10. Obviously, the Raiders got a win against the Broncos. The Cards beat the Bills, which, by the way, has a little playoff implication. But, gents, what stood out to you? The Steelers still undefeated, 9-0.
pretty impressive. The
Jameis Winston.
offense.
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Come on now.
What's that? How many in a row is that for him?
Fifth.
5?
5.
Wow.
But Tua is really playing well. Offensively, they're setting some things up. But defense, and their defense is built around the defensive backs. They have 2 corners that can basically lock you down. So again, Dolphins playing great defense with those 2 corners. Jones and Howard, better watch out.
Tua definitely has that it factor. But I'm looking, and it's not a surprise, but I looked at Tampa Bay. Tom comes back. Everyone, that's what it's a clear example of why you don't get too high over any win or too low over any loss. Tom comes back and does Tom terrific things, GOAT-like things, and brings that team back, energizes them, throwing the ball left and right, and getting everybody involved. So it wasn't surprising, but if anything stuck out to me, it was Tom. I think they put up, 40-something points maybe?
Tom, but playing, like you said, terrific. And speaking of terrific, let's take a look at the AFC standings, because you're going to see the Raiders in the mix again, like we mention every week, 7 teams heading into the playoffs. And look where the Raiders are sitting at 6-3, gents.
It's interesting, this AFC is the playoff picture. Everyone's so bundled up there right in the middle. And we have some huge games coming up. Obviously next week, divisional rival Kansas City. And then we also have Indianapolis coming up too.
The Colts, I know.
Who we see right there at the number 4 spot.
Not many of those teams are balanced, meaning great defense, great offense. There's little things for everyone to work on as far as what you want to do and how you want to proceed along the rest of this season. But it's very important that you understand that defensively, the Raiders are coming along. We know we got the running game. Quarterback's been playing fantastic, superior accuracy when he's throwing the ball. So all those things are kind of lining up for our football team down the road, getting better and better.
Like you said, the offensive line getting healthier. Sorry, Marcel, you had something very important to say.
No, to your point, EA, everybody has things to work on, but you got to get the feeling that this Las Vegas Raiders team is starting to hit their stride right at the perfect time. But the most important thing to remember is just win, baby.
Just win,
Look at
baby.
you.
I
That's
love
it.
it.
Look at you.
I love it. And they're doing it. 3 in a row for the Raiders. All right, coming up next, we've got Under Further Review. Marcel, EA, chopping up some topics within the NFL we will discuss when we come back. This week's Intermountain Healthcare Impact Team of the Week is the Apex Predators. The Predators will be going to the American Youth Football Nationals this December. Great name, you're right. The largest youth tackle tournament in the nation. Team members giving back to the community by volunteering at 3 Square Food Bank in their spare time. Congrats, you guys. The Predators are named the Intermountain Healthcare Impact Team of the Week.
Congrats, Predators.
Speaking of impact, our unsung hero of the week, guys, you know it's got to go to our entire special teams unit. All around excellent performance, putting the Raiders in solid field positioning time after time. Great punting by A.J. Cole, down 3 punts inside the 10-yard line. D-Car, Daniel Carlson, 3 for 3, including a 52-yarder. He is now 4 for 4 from 50-plus this year, okay? And then, of course, Hunter Renfrow, that return touchdown.
Oh, that was sweet.
Suspect call on that, but from top to bottom, they delivered. They really did. They stepped up.
You see the Gunners making a big play there, but it's not just about getting great field position, but also when you have issues on offense or defense, you're able to flip the field position. So flip the field position, that means downing that ball inside the 10-yard line, meaning that you put the other team, you put the Denver Broncos in a backed up position where now you force them to have to get 2 first downs to even get out of that position. So our special teams has been great, efficient all year. Today they were special.
They have such a huge impact on what's going on right now. But again, field goal kicking is so difficult and so hard. I know it looks easy, but man, those guys, they spend so much time getting that craft together, and really hats off to those guys, because every time he lines up, you're like, oh, that's 3. Oh, that's 3.
Automatic.
Oh, that's 3, automatic.
How about third and Renfrow getting it in on the punt return, baby?
Look at it. Oh, I know.
Should have been.
A special thing about our special teams as well is you see guys who are starters, who contribute on offense and defense involved in that. Hunter Renfrow, for example, our huge third down guy, being the punt returner. You have Jalen Richard being your kickoff returner. You have Jonathan Abram in on kickoff and punt. You got Heath down there who had 2 interceptions, but guess what? He's on punt return blocking for Hunter Renfrow as well. Yeah. That's what makes a team special, when guys just contribute. No job is too small, no job is too big. Everyone wants to contribute to winning football, and that's what the Las Vegas Raiders are doing right now.
Yep. All 3 phases doing a great job today.
All 3 phases. All right, it is time for Under Further Review. I'm going to throw out a topic. You guys chop it up. The first topic is going to be, we're now entering the second half of the season, no doubt about that, week 10, right? Which Raider player, though, do you guys believe will be looking to have a huge back end of the season? EA, you go first.
Wow, huge back end of the season. I'm going to go with both the corners. I think both the corners for this next stretch need to play fantastic football, and they have the capacity and capability of doing that. First, it starts in practice. You've got to understand route recognitions and start to go into the game anticipating certain things based on down and different. That'll make you a far better football player when you start to anticipate opposed to trying to react to everything. So I think I'm going to put my emphasis on the 2 corners for the rest of the season.
That's a good one, EA. And usually, naturally, I go to offense.
All right.
But I'm going hard. I'm going defense as well. I'm going with 2 guys, though. I'm going with Mad Max Crosby and Cleveland Farrell.
Okay, all right.
Those guys, they're getting used to playing hard, winning football. They're getting so close to the quarterback. Now we're going to start seeing those numbers start to pile up. Start getting sacks in bunches, get pressure, tip balls. I'm starting to see those guys really get excited and play passionate football, winning Raider football, and I'm excited to see them down the stretch of this season.
You guys went defense. I'll go offense real quick. D-Book. Devontae Booker has stepped up. He led the team in rushing yards last week. He had a touchdown, and of course he has the 2 touchdowns today.
That's a good call.
When you want to give Josh Jacobs a little breathing room, you got a big-bodied back like Devontae, and he,
who's giving you explosive plays. It's not like he's a backup.
No,
that's a good call.
The offensive line likes to, create lanes for him. All right, as a player, now that we're in week 11, do you start doing some scoreboard watching? Do you start kind of peeking at the standings? Is that something that actually happens, Marcel?
Are you really asking us that? That's a secret that's not supposed to ever get out.
I'm gonna say this. Yeah, it's a little early for that right now. Right now, especially if you're a team in the position that we are, you control your own destiny. So right now, you just keep winning, stacking your wins, stack your wins, stack your wins. But when it gets to week 14, 15, and 16, you peek up a little bit to see if another team took care of you a little bit, see if somebody else won, so you can,
Yeah, if you're an older player, I think it's okay, and I would at times, just to kind of alert the younger players kind of what's happening. Hey, do you see this? Like, you see this other team trying to make those moves. They're getting their personality, their identity down. We want to do the same thing. So this is how we have to practice in week 11, week 12, to be able to make sure we're playing at a high level in week 15 and 16. So I think that's important to look and maybe compare and contrast sometimes.
Well, I wonder almost as though it's an emphasis on endurance, right? Because the college season is shorter. So for the younger guys, you're like, okay, you got this. You still got to keep your foot on the gas, right?
Absolutely. And John Gruden, Mike Mayock, Tom Cable, those guys do a phenomenal job. Greg Olsen, of keeping those young guys on focus, on task.
Intense still,
and scale down practice when you need to scale down practice. Have recovery days when you need to have a recovery day. And you never pick up at the score during the game, but afterwards you get in your locker, you scroll on ESPN or something like that and check the app and make sure, everything that you need to happen happens.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a great question, Erin, because alluding to your point about when you have those days off, it's so important on your days off, not just go home and just kind of be free, but really get back into that studying and understanding what your opponent is trying to do. So when you get on the football field, the game kind of slows down, and that's the most important things you can do.
They call it a rookie wall, and there's obviously some rookies on the team this year. All right, it's Masters weekend. QB's usually great at golf. Usually, it got us thinking. What other sport do you think, both of you guys obviously excellent athletes, that you would have excelled in if you didn't play football? Marcel, go ahead.
Not would have excelled in.
Oh, here we go.
My goodness.
My first love, anybody who knows me, was basketball. I am a hooper by trait, by nature.
They all
and
say
even
that.
till this day, you don't want to see me on the court. King of the court. Anyone taking all takers.
Oh, my
EA,
goodness.
come see me.
You don't want to come to my Y.
Come see me, EA.
I'm in the rafters at my Y. Right.
All right, well, what about you?
I was a baseball player.
Oh, okay.
From the time I was, 8 years old, on every all-star team, and played baseball in high school. We won a championship twice. So I was a baseball player.
Okay.
And I played both, but baseball was my first love. I just loved Big Red Machine and George Foster and Pete Rose and Johnny Bench and all those guys. And I played football because I was good at it, and all my buddies played too. So again, baseball, I probably somewhere baseball, Cincinnati Reds.
Okay. How about you, EC?
You know what? Don't find me on the volleyball court because I know I'm
heard
vertically
about
challenged, but I've got a mean jump serve.
Yeah, I heard.
Jump
So,
serve not
watch out,
easy.
guys.
Jump serve is
Watch
not
out,
easy to do.
Watch out, guys. All right.
it done.
Getting it done. Don't think about it. All right. When we come back, Raiders Salute to Service Month. Very cool. We're going to show you how the Silver and Black gave back to veterans. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Well, this was very cool. 10 airmen from Nellis Air Force Base and 10 airmen from Creech Air Force Base lit the Al Davis Memorial Torch today, of course, in honor of Salute to Service. What a moment. Welcome back to the show here inside Allegiant Stadium. The Raiders took care of business against the Broncos, and in honor of Salute to Service Month, the Raiders alumni Leo Gray and Keith Moody visited the Southern Nevada Veterans State Home to show their appreciation to those who protected this country.
Today's event is a salute to service for the veterans here at the Southern Nevada Veterans Home, and it's really close to my heart. My dad was in the service, he was in the Navy, one of my uncles was in the Navy, another one was in the Air Force. And I probably would have been in the military myself if I didn't get a football scholarship. So the military has always been special and a part of my life. So I really, when they said there was an opportunity to come here, I really was excited.
Having everybody here really shows our residents and our veterans that the community has not forgotten about them. COVID has been a hard time for all of us, staff and residents. And, with the restrictions that are in place, doing something like this, being able to social distance, keep our 6 feet, wear our masks, but still show the love and the support and the appreciation for our heroes is amazing.
I've been a Raider fan since the 70s. I appreciate the Raiders coming out here and doing this event for us because it's enjoyable to see a team that we can support and I can support and have fun with it.
It's a pleasure for us to be here today. We have these COVID-safe packages for you, and we just wanted to thank you for all that you're doing. And the Raiders are in big partnership with the veterans, and we appreciate that. So in honor of the NFL's Salute to Service Month and Veterans Day, the Raider Foundation is going to provide a $10,000 donation to the Southern Nevada's Veterans Home. My dad was in the Navy. He was in the Korean War, and I have a lot of other family members that were in the Vietnam War. And so the whole veteran thing is personal to me. So I'm excited about being a part of being able to say thank you for your service.
Remarkable. You're seeing the Raiders give back to the veterans. Of course, all proceeds of the shirt sale that our Marcel Reece is modeling for you will go to the Raiders Foundation. I don't know how you got that shirt on, but he wanted to make sure he wore it here.
Get mine early.
His
Go get
medium.
you one.
That's right.
But it's very cool, great, Christmas gift, and all proceeds do go to Raiders Foundation in support of military families. But one of the biggest priorities for Mark Davis, Marcel, I'll ask you, is to give back to military and veterans, right?
Give back to the entire community, but veterans and the military and the good people who serve our country have always meant so much to Mark Davis and always will. So I know those veterans feel so special and warm when he is able to give back, and the entire Raider Nation alumni like you, EA, go back and spend time, give time. But it's awesome to see Mark Davis, the entire Raider Nation, give back to the veterans and the great people who serve our country, and the entire NFL, saluting them.
Yeah, you love that.
If you will, this month.
Yeah, they made the ultimate commitment at times, and it's just not them, it's their families.
Absolutely.
My dad was a Marine, my grandfather was the Navy, my maternal grandfather was Army, so it was about the family, really getting behind them and understanding kind of what they were going through, the commitment, the discipline it took, and then for them to pass those things down to our extended family. So again, veterans mean so much to us as a Raider family and us personally also.
Yeah.
Ultimate sacrifice.
Ultimate
sacrifice. We thank you for your service.
Grandpa Logan was in the Navy, and of course you can get yourself one of these awesome shirts. Go to Raiders.com or stop by Raiders Image for one of these awesome shirts. Of course, all proceeds will go to a great cause. As we go to break, Raiders players showing their appreciation to our veterans of military with a pretty cool shout out to the troops. Take a look.
Thank you to all the veterans sacrificing your time and your safety for us and our communities back home. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I just want to say thank you to all branches of the military. Thank you for your service. We really appreciate you. Hey guys, it's Jason Witten. Just want to give a shout out to our military. Thank you for all your sacrifice. We appreciate it. Much love.
Jonathan Hankins, Las Vegas Raiders, defensive tackle. And I just want to thank all the servicemen out there for all the things they've done for us.
Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. You're taking a look at Las Vegas. Here inside Allegiant Stadium, the Raiders took care of business at home against the Broncos, and the Raiders are keeping it in the AFC West. They are taking on those 8-1 Chiefs next week, and unfortunately, guys, the Chiefs will be well rested because yet again, they will be facing the Raiders coming off their bye this week. And if it feels familiar, it's because it is.
Yep.
This is the third year in a row that the Raiders will face the Chiefs after their bye. And you know Andy Reid likes it. The sixth time in 10 seasons. And of course, the Chiefs are 4-1 in those games. Why does it always seem like the Raiders face the Chiefs after a bye, EA?
Yeah, Andy Reid gets after bye, gets his team prepared. They understand exactly kind of what the Raiders and John Gruden wants to do offensively. But again, I still think there's some plays to be made on that Kansas City Chiefs defense. But you're right, Andy Reid is phenomenal coming off byes.
Again, listen, it's Raiders, Chiefs. That's all that needs to be said. They have to come in here and still have to play. I don't care about bye week and anything else. Las Vegas Raiders are ready to play them. Make them hurt, impose our will, and win the football game.
Well, and maybe they might be a little nervous after what they saw against this Raiders defense and what they're coming into next week, too. I would imagine.
When you turn on the film from the last game, they understand that we're going to get after the quarterback and we're going to find ways to make plays on defense. So I think that's the one thing, and again, what you want to do is take away the ball so you have time of possession.
Yeah.
Before we no, I know you don't.
Before we close out Week 10, we've got a Monday night matchup. Bears taking on the Vikings. I'll go first. I'm going Vikings. Gents, Marcel, go.
I'm going Bears.
I like that.
I'm going to go Bears also. I'm going to go Bears also. I think Nick is going to bring them through.
Yeah.
If he's still quarterback.
That Vikings run game scares me a little bit, but I'm still going with defense, Khalil Mack, and that Bears defense.
EA, I believe you are in the lead. I know I picked
What did
the Jets.
you say? Can you say that again?
You are in the lead.
Oh, that's
I
what
know.
yeah.
Unfortunately, 9-2. Last week, I almost had one on you guys.
Almost, yeah.
I picked the Jets.
That's not in the stat column, though, almost.
All that matters is that the Raiders are 6-3.
That's right.
Heading into Week 11, guys. Thank you so much for joining. For Eric Allen, Marcel, Reece, and Erin Coscarelli here inside Allegiant Stadium. We'll see you next week.
Number one.
Matt, Lonnie, Steve.
This has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now, only at Allegiant.com. Brought to you by Modelo, setting the gold standard for authentic Mexican beer since 1925. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Raiders. Twitch, the official live streaming partner of the Las Vegas Raiders.